I was at Marden's in Maine over the weekend, and they're liquidating their hardware inventory. And so I was able to buy these chests of assorted screws, bolts, nuts for $20 a piece. So that's basically, there's 5 drawers in each one, so that's $4 per drawer. And I totally scored, and I'm just going to quickly walk through. I took a lot of time today and organized all of these. So I've got flat-topped wood screws, round-headed wood screws. This is maybe my favorite. I'll go through this one. These are all special finish, specialty screws, machine screws, and things like stove bolts and metric screws. So if I start over here, we've got flat Phillips heads, and these actually, most of these match the description on the labels. This is how you would buy them in a store, so these would normally be like 15, 17, 25 cents a piece, like per screw. So I got all of these for $4. If we move on, we've got different sizes. These are brass. I loved the brass, which are normally pretty expensive. So I have a huge selection of brass and steel wood screws now. My favorite are some of the combinations. So you've got steel and brass that are the same size, so they match one another, but they're different metals. So those are pretty cool. And these are, I believe these are nickel plated. Oh, aluminum. They're aluminum. Now I have round-headed. These are nickel-plated. These are all round-headed screws, nickel-plated wood screws. More round-headed steel and brass. These are steel and brass as well. These are aluminums. Not all of these are completely filled up. I'm going to add to these, but I'm organizing them as best I can. And these are actually sheet metal screws. So quite an assortment of sheet metal screws. These are my favorites. They're the specialty screws. These are all, this is all aluminum hardware. It's meant for like screen door repair, but there are some really cool things like thumb screws and yeah, aluminum hardware. These are all chrome, so chrome screws. These are antique brass, collection of antique brass screws. This one is antique brass, copper, and just a black finish. So this is really cool for like specialty projects. If you need to match hardware. These are nickel. Losing focus a little bit. And this last pile is just another assortment. I didn't have a box that went with these, but it's just an assortment of different finishes, different styles. I think they're like doorknob hardware, things like that. Then I've got 3 boxes up here that didn't quite fit, but these are all flat-topped machine screws, brass and steel. This one I believe is just steel. Long thread. Not a whole lot of nuts with these, a lot of bolts, but no nuts. There are nuts in some of them, but not all of them. More brass and steel. Brass and steel, machine screws, so they're like, they don't have a point, they're like for threading in, which is great for, I'm doing some 3D printing work, so I can build my, design my parts so that they take advantage of whatever finish I want, or whatever size screw that I'm looking for. More. I love the brass. These actually had nuts that went with them, which was pretty great. Pretty happy with that. And again, what you're seeing here matches what's the description that's on the top of the box, just like if you were buying them in a store. Look at that. Some of these would have been 40 cents a piece, and I got the whole box again for like $4. And then the last pile, these are all like stove bolts, things like this, stove bolts. I like these because they have the Allen key top. Makes them really easy to use. Hard to see on camera because they're black and there's not a lot of light down here. More kind of more of the same. This is a cool box. It's all metric. Really useful. And two more. These are kind of cool. These are headset screws. A whole collection. These are really unorganized. It's kind of how I found them. And when I was buying these, I was sort of they were selling them as shelving units, so $20 per unit, and they didn't particularly care if I added to the drawers, so I was like putting boxes in the drawers and just like filling them up to get my money's worth. And the last one is a big box of locking washers, just a ton of locking washers. So that's it. I do have a few assorted things up here. Didn't really have a particular spot for them, so I just stuck them in this old tackle box. Or it's actually a new tackle box, but yeah, so it's my new collection. I have to find a spot for it all, but I'm super excited about it.